So Jeff Rahn, the owner of the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, and Mr. Sparky Business up in Hastings, Minnesota. Jeff, thank you for jumping on this call with me.
It's my pleasure.
I'd like to ask you a few questions about you as the owner of this business. And if you wouldn't mind, just kind of introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your business, your people, and whatever you'd like to share.
Okay. Well, we have three businesses here. It's 1 Hour Heating, Ben Franklin Plumbing, Mr. Sparky Electric, and Home Security is part of the electric business. We're probably going to be about a $14 million business this year. 65, almost 70 people that we have employed here now. It's and we run a fantastic operation.
Good for you. That's pretty amazing. That's $14 million is a big number.
Yeah. We've grown between 6 and 10% per year, and then this year is it's just another level of growth. We couldn't even imagine that we would do so much this year.
How has it been through COVID and all these other things that are going on in the world?
Good. It's a record year for us. We've had almost every month has been a record. Our HVAC business has done $1 million the past 2 months. It's just, I think, it's one of the great things about the heating and air, plumbing, and electrical businesses is that people need the stuff fixed. It's, COVID, no COVID, economy up, economy down. If you have a problem in those fields, they're gonna call you and you're gonna get out there. So
good. So let me ask you, so the future of the business, so you've been doing how long have you owned it now?
So 2014, I purchased the business.
6 years ago? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you see? What's your long-term plan with the business? Do you have one?
Yeah. So, we just want to keep growing. We have a kind of a take over the world mentality. We want to keep growing it. We're looking at starting up a separate call center that then we can also use for other businesses and stuff. We want to keep growing organically. We grow pretty quick, but we've also, last year we bought 2 different businesses, 2 HVAC companies that we merged into ours. People just call us, and we grew our business extremely well off those. This year we're buying a plumbing business that actually comes with 5 plumbers, so we're growing it that way, which is probably the biggest part of it, is being able to bring some plumbers on board, because finding plumbers is very hard. So
that's true. Finding plumbers is the hardest part. Do you plan on selling the business at some point, or giving it to your children, or do you have kind of a plan, a strategy on that point? I know you're still a young, vibrant man, but
well, I don't know about that, but the plan is not to sell it. The plan is to, if I did sell it, it would be some kind of a employee exchange, like an ESOP, employee stock exchange. But I think that the main goal is just to keep growing the business as much as we can. The way to create opportunities for people is through growth. And we've added, we now have an operations manager for all 3 departments, plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. We have a technical trainer that's we just started for our HVAC side. We just hired a warehouse guy that also is a mechanic. So now we're setting up where we can work on our own trucks and everything in there. And there's people that are great that have been here for a long time, and I would like to see that just because they're getting older and decide they don't want to work in the field anymore, have opportunities to be able to move into the office and coffee and khakis the rest of their life. So
that's great. So you're very loyal to your employees. That's awesome. Good for you. So tell me, Jeff, I appreciate that, and it's amazing what you've been doing. I've known you for a long time, and I can't be more excited or proud of everything that you've accomplished. But tell us how you got into the business and became owner of the business and so on.
Yeah. So, I came here in 2008, I believe it was, as an installer. I was installing HVAC equipment. I worked on airplanes for 22 years, and because of some changes in the industry, I decided to leave that business and come into heating and air conditioning. And, I was already 40 some years old and felt like the field wasn't going to be for me for long. So I wanted to move up in the business. So I went into as a service tech and then as operations manager and then general manager. And then in 2014, they sold me the business. So it sounds weird even saying it, that something like that could happen for a guy that barely made it through high school. But, they don't care what you did in high school. They care about what you do every day when you come to work.
Yeah, well, that's impressive, and that's why we do the business that we do is to get more people into the trades, right? And I think that most people don't really truly understand what opportunity is in front of them when they're looking at a career like this. And if you talk to them about, think about getting into HVAC as a technician or installer or becoming a plumber or electrician or in security or something like that, most of them are not thinking about, well, maybe someday I can own my own company. Right. Did that even cross your mind when you went to school for it?
Well, the reason I went to school for heating and air conditioning was with the airline industry, you're going to work in only so many cities for so many companies because it's commercial aviation. There's only so many places you can go. And if there's ever a recession or a slowdown in the economy, the first thing people do is stop taking trips and traveling and vacation. So it was basically the opposite of the heating business. The heating business is almost recession proof. It's you can travel anywhere in the country and do it. You can and I used to joke that one day I could even hang a shingle outside and own my own business if I wanted to. And lo and behold, that's what ended up happening. And it just gives you so many options. And we hire a lot of guys that are at that, maybe like 30 some years old and they're a mechanic. We've hired machinists. We're hiring a guy that works on a dairy farm on dairy equipment. All kinds of great guys, body mechanic for cars. And all of them are at the same point in their life where they say, okay, what am I going to do next? And because I'm not happy with where I'm at. And those are the people because I can relate to it. And they come in and they have passion and they have a desire and they have the mechanical background. And, attitude and personality is what we look for the most in employees. But if you can have a little bit of technical training on the equipment, those are the ones that they hit the ground running. They're usually higher paid when they get here, and they bring in the most money for us, and so we're able to pay them more money. And they're probably some of our best employees. I would say that the last maybe 10 people that we hired, maybe more, didn't come from this background, but they just came in and got some training and off to the races they go.
Well, I'm glad you said that because that's exactly what I was going to ask you next. So when you're hiring somebody new, so you look for somebody that has experience, but you're also open to hiring somebody without experience as long as they have the right character, right?
Yeah. And in fact, the experience has become, when I was hired here, it was, you needed to have a couple of years of experience or nobody wanted to talk to you. And now it's, quite honestly, I prefer the guys that we hire fresh out of either a tech school or some type of technical training, or even just come in with a background that they have a great attitude and personality, but I know which end of the screwdriver to hold. So, and then we train them the way we want things done, our style of doing the business. And man, it's crazy how successful that has been.